Gorgeous morning on my favorite local creek. They stocked midday Tuesday, and this is Thursday morning. These fish really get hammered here for the first day or two, but located a trout kind of sitting near the bottom of this hole. He's running the native minnows out of the prime lie, so I'm hoping he's hungry. It's about 4 feet deep here, but you can't really see what's going on in this shot because of the glare on the water. We'll take a closer look at this bait in a few, but while it's getting swarmed by the minnows, this trout's not really interested. So kind of move on upstream. I'm one of those people who think your first cast is your best cast. So if you can get into a fish that has some interest in feeding, that initial drift is going to be the thing that gets it done. As we see here, throwing my shrimpin' ain't easy out on a 1/64th jig head that I painted to match. We get it down into the zone and the drift of current, and as soon as the fish sees it and he moves for it's not a massive trout. Typical stalker size for what the DWR likes to put in the water here, but not a bad fish. I'm fishing without a net, so I don't really want to horse this fish. Setup today is a 7-foot one-piece rod with a loose speed spin reel. I got 10-pound braid on here with about 3 feet of 4-pound Maxima fluoro for a leader. I do a really horrible job here of getting this trout framed up. Where I had my chest mount was great for getting a good shot of the hole, but then I did not think to adjust it for the purpose of showing you how I handle the fish, so it's not exactly exceptional here. But this is a look at the bait we're throwing. So this is a cured salad shrimp, something I started doing recently. I don't think there's a magic bait that's necessarily going to trigger a fish that has no interest in feeding, but this gives me the combination of color, texture, and scent that I'm looking for. But the bait stays on the hook pretty well through the nibblers, but does get out of the way of the point when it's time to set the hook. Every set today was right into the roof of the mouth when it counts. Got another trout on right here. Another average size stalker. I'm going to do another really poor job of getting the shot of it with my chest now. So we'll move on. Next drift. And this is not an impressive fish. It's not a trout. But frankly, I go ahead and include it in this video because for what it is, it's an impressive native-sized fish for this size of water. Some people call this a horny head or a creek chub. Again, pretty good sized fish for the water, but it's not beautiful and it's not what everyone who's beating the banks is after. But generally, where you find the chubs, you'll also find the trout. So I started moving up the creek into the area where they do stock. Saw 2 trout stacked up in different lies right here, but they weren't really moving. Couldn't pass up the chance to take a shot at them though, so made a couple casts here, but just got my bait nibbled by the minnows. I went right by the nose of the trout, but they didn't have any interest, so went ahead and moved on upstream to a decent log jam. I could see 3 trout working, and the current was moving pretty quick. But the big one got just a glimpse of my bait, moved completely across the hole and turned downstream to smash it. Again, no net, so didn't want to try to horse this fish too hard and risk breaking him off. I found the remnants of some pink power bait in his gullet where he'd broken off another angler at some point since being thrown in the stream. So he was probably just thinking he'd power through this inconvenience. And I did need to get on with my day, so I knew this was going to be the last fish and hoped to end on a high note. So he went for the log jam, but I stepped back out in front of him to try to dissuade that while moving him kind of away from the big rocks and limbs. Then I went back over to the really skinny water to land him. He's good and tired, so I reach down, go for the grab, and this is how I know we're looking at a male here. There's not a big pipe on the jaw or anything like that, but he shot pretty much every bit of milk that was in him. Good fall colors, good looking fish, and when I went for the release, he just wasn't looking like he'd survive it. So I figured this was as good a fish as any to take back to the shop and cook up. I put the fillets on the Coleman, skinned down in some butter, put a little tahini on top, gave thanks, and enjoyed my first meal of the day. Finished up with a little bit of coffee and then went back to work. So that's all I got, folks. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and do me a solid and share this with your friends and fellow anglers. See ya.